Hey, what's up everybody? Chris here with another tech tip, and today I can't wait to tell you how to get a grip. Today we're going to chat about design considerations for handle placement for custom electronics enclosures. So let's get into it. When designing a custom sheet metal enclosure that houses electronics, the design focus is often on the internal components, board placements, thermals, and I/O cutouts. However, sometimes the user experience extends beyond buttons and functionality, and it includes the physical handling of the enclosures themselves. At Protocase and Protospace MFG, we are your one-stop shop for reducing project latencies as we supply a wide range of stocked hardware, including handles suitable for everything from heavy-duty 4U computer servers to sleek desktop consolettes. However, even though handles can be a necessity in your design, they do create specific constraints depending on your required enclosure style. So let's first look at the different scenarios of managing weight and maintenance of various enclosure styles. First up, let's look at rack mount enclosures, which can typically be 1U to 4U plus in height and typically house electrical components, audio equipment, or power distribution units. In most situations, these racked enclosures can be located in environments where the enclosure is slid in and out of a 19-inch rack via sliding rails. So the primary function of a handle here is extraction or ease of handling depending on the scenario. Also, if your enclosure is in a storage rack, you aren't just moving the enclosure, you're also overcoming the friction of the sliding rails too. Now, a design consideration here would be to include handles mounted on the front faceplate or specific rack ears. An important tip here, watch the bend radius when placing handle mounting cutouts on front panels of the rack mount and ensure that the holes are not too close to the bend or the edge of the panel. If a cutout is placed within a deformation zone, it will stretch during the bending process. A rule of thumb, keep the edge of the hole at least 2.5 times the material thickness away from the bend line or the edge. The second scenario is the requirement for your enclosures to be equipped with hinged doors. Five-sided enclosures are the most common enclosure styles that use hinged doors and are often used for industrial control panels, wall-mounted NEMA-style boxes, or just enclosures that require frequent maintenance. They usually feature a hinged door for frequent access to the components inside. Now here, handles are going to serve two purposes: portability, carrying the unit if you have them on the sides, or accessing the door by opening it. Now if this is going to be a portable enclosure, you're going to want to mount handles on the side or the top panels. Unlike a rack mount, you must calculate the center of gravity here. Lastly, let's talk about a custom consolet enclosure, or an angled or sloped enclosure as they're sometimes called. Consolettes are typically used for smaller graphical user interfaces, desktop controllers, or small kiosks featuring touchscreens. Although consolettes are rarely carried long distances, they're frequently repositioned on desks or tables. Now these handles are primarily for the support of subtle adjustments. The best placement here is on the side flanges. This allows the user to shift the unit without touching the components or the enclosure. So what are the golden rules of handle integration? Regardless of the enclosure style, keep these rules in mind when designing your next custom electronics enclosure. 1. When a handle is used for lifting, the panel should be designed to support the applied loads. Thin sheets of metal may deform at the handle mounting points, so increased stiffness or reinforcement should be considered. 2. Remember that mounting a handle requires hardware to protrude into the enclosure. Ensure that these don't touch your electronics inside. We regularly countersink the handle mounting holes to avoid this issue. And finally, 3. Ensure the panel is reinforced. A handle on 18-gauge steel may cause the metal to deform under heavy loads. Stepping up to 14 or even 16 gauge is recommended for load-bearing panels. So if you need to know more information on the types of handles that we stock here at Protocase and Protospace MFG, just head on over to either website. If you have any questions about adding handles into your next custom enclosure design, or really any hardware at all, please just email info@protocase.com or info@protospacemfg.com if you are in aerospace and defense. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Until next time, take care.